Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. This is Success Never Sleeps. I am your host, Brannon Beliso. We are presented by Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software, Kids Love Life Skills, Market Muscles, LC Accounting, and My Studio, the app. It's that night. On Thursday night, we give away a cotton candy machine courtesy of Rainmaker. So you want to put in there your name, where you're tuning in from. Make sure that you do that, and you automatically be entered into that drawing. Cool. And as you come aboard, we know we love when the disruptors say hello. Say hello. So as you come aboard, please say hello to us. I need a little sip of tea. Sorry about that. Went down the wrong way. All right. So we're talking about empowerment tonight. I just finished a 4-day event. It's Time Live Empowered. Let me say hello to a few people. Steph, long time, ma'am. How you doing? Steph, good evening, Steph. Hey, Adam, what's happening? Mr. Parker, sir, all the way from the UK. UK in the house. Tish. What's up, Tish? What's happening? As you come aboard, do say hello, put in the name of your school where you're tuning in from, and you could win that cotton candy machine. So we just finished a 4-day event called It's Time Live Empowered. And there was a 1-day, 2-day, 4-day. And really, as a facilitator, what I was focusing on in the theme was empowering people. So when I was working on my different seminars, I'm asking myself as a martial arts school owner, as a person, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, what can I do to empower people? What information, what skill set, what tools can I teach them to help them be empowered to achieve their version of success, whatever that may be? Cool. All right. Hey, Sensei Bolden, all the way from Australia. Chris Malloy, my friend. Andre, Mr. Mavis, my buddy, I love you too. Sending love from Germany. We got Germany, we got UK, we got Australia. How lucky are we? We're worldwide, folks. Australia's in the house. Germany's in the house. The UK's in the house. Who else is in the house? Please put in there. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Sensei Bolden's coming in from Bolden's Taekwondo, Jackson, Mississippi. Never stop training. Oos. I believe you, sir. I agree with you, sir, and it's all good. Steph, I'm doing great. After just facilitating this 4-day event, I'm just like, just literally buzzing. I've been buzzing since everybody left Tuesday night. Wednesday, somewhere in there. And really, what I felt as a facilitator was I really gave people the skill set. And I think the biggest skill they need is to really understand their why. And that's super important, because if you don't know who you are, why you do what you do, then it's hard to explain that. It's hard to be a storyteller. It's hard to share that with people, And that's really important for me. And I had challenged everybody to step up and be able to define that before the weekend was out. We spent 2 more days on it with the 4-day experience, but everybody that was there, it was super important that they found that why. If I asked you that question, why do I want to come to your school versus Joe Karate down the street? You got to have a legitimate answer. And if Joe Karate's saying, we're a family martial arts center, and you say we're a family martial arts center, and they say we teach discipline, and you say we teach discipline, then I, as a consumer, have nothing to differentiate the two between. So I'm simply going to choose the school based upon who lives closer to me and who's cheaper. And that's not the type of relationship I want to invest in. We heard a lot this weekend that the product is the relationship. One of the attendees, Virginia Conley, came up with that the product is the relationship. And it truly is. And of course, if you back that up with great martial arts instruction, great curriculum, the Disney experience, all those things with customer service, then you really allow yourself the opportunity for people to view you as somebody they want to build a relationship with, because it's an investment on both sides, right? It truly is. And when we recognize that and we choose to approach it that way, then we're not trying to get leads. We're trying to invest in quality relationships that can manifest themselves into a trial, turn itself into an active student, and potentially somebody that's going to stay with you through black belt and beyond. I cannot get people in that energized mindset of wanting to invest in a relationship with me if my only focus is on selling and closing the deal. Think about that. Again, I relate everything to being a relationship. And imagine if I walked into a club and my whole goal was simply to try to get a girl, and all I did was walk around. That was my only intent. I'd probably walk out of there alone because nobody's going to buy into that. You see where I'm trying to go with that? If I simply walk around going 3 classes in boxing gloves, 1999, 3 classes in boxing gloves, 1999, that's not a relationship. That's just simply me selling you a cheap product and hopefully you're going to buy it. And I'm working on a numbers game. That numbers game is if I say this to 30 women in this club tonight, maybe 1 out of the 30 will say yes. So it's no longer me wanting to invest in a relationship. It's me playing a numbers game, trying to pick up on a girl that night. I know that sounds strange, but doesn't it make sense? Doesn't that make sense? So everybody who walks through our door, it's really about nurturing the relationship. Nurturing the relationship. Here's a classic example of that behavior. We were in San Francisco tonight. I took my kids over there to train with the fighters over there because we have a big tournament coming up inter-school. And I wanted my kids to spar with the kids from San Francisco. So I saw it transpire. A class was ending. You could see by the mom's mannerisms. She was upset. She was pointing fingers at my instructor, who's about 18 years old. And you could see by the look in his face, he was lost. He didn't know what to do. So I went up and I interjected immediately because he had to go upstairs and teach. And I asked her, what's the challenge, ma'am? Well, we spent the whole class working on this and my son didn't get his stripe signed off and we are going out of town next week. And I said, well, ma'am, I value that you need to go out of town next week, but we have 4 stripes out of 6 signed off. And in rotating curriculum, in review month, we're way ahead. We got 2 weeks left in the month. This guy's got 4 out of 6 stripes tested and done. He would have finished easily in the next 2 weeks. We didn't know they were going out of town. So I shared with her that it's not fair to speak to my instructors that way because if they looked at this kid's belt and 4 out of his six stripes are signed off, they would have been a happy camper and they would have believed they're doing their job really well. So what did I do? I over-serviced her. I didn't have a uniform in San Francisco or anything. I got down on that floor with that kid. I spent 30 minutes with him. I finished his belt testing. He got promoted. Mom's happy. He's happy. And the mom's so apologetic for being not the nicest person to my team and I. But see, that's it. I mean, it's very important. If I'm rooted in my why, which is to help people live their best life, then I'm not going to let my ego get in the way and say this woman's inappropriate. She's not being nice. She's speaking poorly. What I did from a point of humility was check my ego, practice empathy. I was very understanding to her plight, that they're going on vacation next week. This kid's not done testing. What can we do? What can we do? And I got it done and she's happy as a clam. There you go. So that's an example of how we serve based upon our why. She can't live her best life if they have to leave on vacation and this kid's not done testing. So what can I do to help her live her best life? My instructor can't live his best life if she's standing there yelling at him, when he needs to go teach another class. So what did I do? I helped him live his best life and he went upstairs and taught and I took care of it. So if my clients win, in this case, the mom, fulfilling the why, helping her live her best life. And I helped this young instructor live his best life by helping him with the situation teamwork, and I helped him, then everybody wins, right? And that's the beautiful thing about that. Ego is a very dangerous animal. So when we talk about empowerment, I'm going to tell you, ego does not serve you. Ego is self-centered. Ego is selfish. Ego is narcissistic. And ego only cares about its own outcome and nobody else. And today's leadership, it was so brilliant. Bill Gates said that. I posted it the other day. Today's leaders create more leaders. That's what we're trying to do. I don't want a bunch of yes men, that have to supervise with control and command leadership. That is not empowerment. I will not empower my team if I simply ask them and teach them and tell them to fall in line like good soldiers and do as you're told. There's no creative input. There's no purpose behind that for them. And your team will leave. Today's worker, if you want to use that for the lack of a better word, millennials and Zs, they don't behave that way. They don't like it. So control and command does not work. So you really want to become that leader. So if you want to empower your team, then you need to adopt and learn the skill set as today's contemporary leader to empower your team. And if you can do that, then you have the freedom that many of us are experiencing today. One of the things that attendees on Sunday didn't get to talk about that I really want to share with you. What do you need, my love? Do you want to say hello to everybody? Okay. She hasn't been on the show in a while. Taya wants to say hello. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Can you say hello to everybody at Periscope?
Hello.
Yeah, and then say hello to everybody at Instagram.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Great. Do you need anything else, my love?
Do you see paper on the table?
No, I didn't, my love. I didn't touch anything on the table.
No, on the tiny. tea table.
No.
Not the tiny one on the.
No, my love, I didn't touch anything. Let me do my show. So, if I help my family live their best life, like answering my daughter's question in the middle of the show, then I'm serving my family as well. So the one thing we recognize, and this is very cool, and I'm going to bring Super Dan on in just a minute. I see him hanging out there. We had one school owner with 220 students. He works 8 hours a week. We had another school owner with 370, and she works 4 hours a week. And I'm up here at 1,000 students, and I work maybe 2 hours a week on a good week. I might work 2 hours a week. So what we learned is that even though these three levels, 220, 370, and 1,000, all three of us have decided freedom is not working in our businesses. Wow. So I mean, you can achieve that version of success whether you have 100 students or 200 or 300, if that's your goal, if that's your focus. So empowerment really centers around you figuring out your why, your version of success, and then writing the action plan and cultivating a team and then training the team to execute and then relentlessly pursue that goal until you achieve it. Empowerment is a lot of things. And we found that we all determine that it's very disempowering to live in our own mind by itself, not have a sounding board, not have mentors, not have somebody we can bounce it off, not having a team. It's extremely detrimental because other than the IRS, who tells you what to do if you're a business owner? Nobody. So it's really up to you each and every day when you wake up to choose to be your own best friend or your own best enemy. And I say your own best enemy. Some people are great enemies to themselves. They beat themselves up. They put themselves down. They sabotage their success all the time. And our goal is to not do that. So the first key to empowerment is understanding your why. Your second key to empowerment is to making sure that we define that clearly so we can make actionable steps to achieve that goal. And we did decide that humility, integrity, and gratitude were three of the most powerful life skills I could utilize to live from a point of humility and be able to serve my team and be able to serve my clients as well. Cool. So Super Dan Anderson was one of the people that attended It's Time. And so I'm going to bring him aboard. We're going to chop it up for a few minutes. And I'm going to get his highlights, his big takeaways from what he got. Hey, what's happening, Super Dan? Can you hear me, sir? Well, let me see why I'm not hearing you. Let me see if I can fix this. Go ahead. Try talking again, sir. Oh, I'm not hearing you. Can you turn your microphone on, sir? For some reason, I'm not hearing you at all. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, sir. Can anybody else hear Super Dan? Is it just me? Hey, what's up, Rocky? I got to say hi to all these people. Marco, what's happening? Sophia, what's up, man? Can anybody hear Super Dan? He's talking. Everybody can hear me fine. I can see that. Can you guys hear Super Dan? Super Dan. Can anybody hear him? Yeah, nobody can hear you, Super Dan. Chris Malloy in Australia, Adam Parker. So it's got to be on your end. Your microphone's not working, sir. See if you can figure that out. Maybe get some support on that side. And I'm going to bring you back in. Figure out that mic and then come on back. I just took you out for a second. All right. So people, as you're coming aboard, do say hello. Tell us the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, so we can get you into that drawing, okay? For the cotton candy machine, courtesy of Rainmaker. So understanding where I am in life. And let me know, Super Dan, give me a heads up. Raise a thumb up when you think you have that microphone working, okay? But check it, because you should be able to hear your microphone through your speakers in your computer. If you're not hearing yourself talk, then that's why we're missing you, okay? And then give me a thumbs up and we'll try it again. So the big thing is recognizing, knowing thyself. Where am I in this process, okay? So the skill set to be a great martial artist is one skill set, okay? Most of us have that. We're all great martial artists. It's a whole different skill set to being a great martial arts instructor. It's a whole different skill set to being a great martial arts instructor. After that, guess what? It's a different skill set to being a successful small business owner. And it's a different skill set to being an entrepreneur. There are 4 different skill sets. And I think the mistake people make repeatedly is they think, I'm a black belt, I'm a master, I can do this. Believe me, there's many black belts that fail in business because they know nothing about small business. Nothing nothing about small business. And they go about running the business thinking, I should know how to do this because I'm a black belt. It's a totally different skill set, being a martial artist, than being a great instructor, than being a successful small business owner, and being an entrepreneur. So if I was to ask you right now, and if I was to ask you right now, who are you? Are you a great martial artist? Are you a great martial artist and a great instructor? Are you a great instructor? Are you a successful small business owner? Or are you an entrepreneur? Which skill set do you have in all of that? Go ahead and type it in. Let me see if I can bring Super Dan back. See if this works this time. Can I hear you now? Nope, I can't hear you, sir. Can anybody else hear Sir Super Dan? Somebody get in there and help that man. Help that man. K1, maybe you can get talk to him on the cell phone. Let's see if we can make this work because I really want him to come aboard. So I've got him showing. He's there. I got his mic. Yep, your mic should be on, Super Dan. All right. So going back to that question, who are you? Who are you right now? Are you a great martial artist? Are you a great martial arts instructor? Maybe both. Are you a successful small business owner? Or are you an entrepreneur? What in those skill sets, where do you currently stand? Anybody who can put that in there for me? Good evening, Sean, sir. Hey, I love saying hello to the people from all over the world. We have Germany in the house, we have the UK in the house, and we have Australia. Anybody else from around the world, get in there, say hello to us, and let's make that happen, okay? All right. Cool. Great. Nobody can hear you, Super Dan. So let me know when you think you got that dialed in. I think your mic is just off unless you don't have a mic in your computer. As far as I know, we all do. Hey, Jason, sir. It was great having Jason from Trinity Martial Arts out here with us, already taking action step. He was here for the 4-day experience, and it was really powerful. It was for me. I mean, I felt like I was on the verge of tears several times throughout the experience, and that's powerful because the one thing I really recognize as I check in here with everybody at Instagram, what's happening, Instagram, Periscope, is that I live from my heart. And to be able to do business from my heart, to be able to share my experiences from the heart is so much more gratifying, so much more satisfying in everything that I do. I can't tell you, the impact it has. If I simply did a 9 to 5 mechanically for the sake of a paycheck, oh man, I would wither up and die because I'm just not built that way. I live and die but from my heart. I tell people I love them all the time. That's very common for me. I share that quite passionately with all my clients, with everything that I do, because I believe with love, everything's possible. And I know people go, well, what's that got to do with business? That's a little kumbaya. No, it's not. We're passionate about our art. We're passionate about making a difference. We're passionate about, coming into communities and serving them. So tell me that's about the money. It's not, right? It's not just business. It's not just, nuts and bolts. It really, really is something special. And the fact that we had that unique opportunity to put our heart on the line every day we teach a class, that's powerful stuff. I mean, that's powerful, right? More people coming aboard. Herman, what's up, Herman, sir? Extreme Impact, martial artist and instructor. Okay, he's a great martial artist and he's a great instructor. Marco's owning it. He's on his way to being a better small business owner. Good job, sir. Good job. Anybody else want to take ownership of that? Marco, in defining who you are in that 4-step process. Are you a great martial artist? Are you a great martial arts instructor? Are you a great small business owner? And that means successful, profitable small business owner. Or are you an entrepreneur? Are you all 4 at this point in your career? Try to figure that out, okay? I'm going to try one more time to get Super Dan. Let's see if this is going to work this time. Let's see. Super Dan, can you hear me? Can you? I've got my microphone up. Can anybody hear Super Dan? Talk to me. Turn up the volume on your mic if you can. Talon over here. Hey, what's up, Abel? I see Abel over here. Is Sarah Lee with you as well? That'd be very cool. They were here for It's Time Live again. Excellent. Cool. Periscope, pipe in there. Say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Jackie. I'm a dojo nobody and proud. Yep, no audio, Super Dan. Keep trying. I'm going to leave you there while I'm talking to people. Okay, Adam, I think I'm a great martial artist, a good teacher, a good but still learning to command a class teacher, and a good small business owner. Good job, sir. And as you work towards that, you want to make sure Inspired Taekwondo over here at Instagram. What's happening? PM, and let me switch this back around. Yeah, I am. Cool. See if you can figure that out there for us, Super Dan. We'd love to get you aboard. Adam saying, I did an instructor review for current long-term students, parents, all positive feedback on my teaching. So think that is a big positive. Absolutely, Adam. I agree with you on that. But I'm going to say you want to make sure that you are growing your school. If numbers are growing, your people are happy, that's one thing. If the school's not growing, of course all your existing students are happy because they're the ones that are there. They're the ones that aren't leaving, right? But if our schools aren't growing and we're getting 5 new students every month and losing 5, then I'm going to be challenged with that and look at those areas of my business to make sure I'm improving that, right? Right. Let's see what Steph has to say. I'm a good martial artist and instructor, but I need to improve being an entrepreneur and a business owner. Good. See, because once I know that, Steph, what do? I go about it methodically. I take business classes at the community college. I read business books. I read entrepreneurship books. I read the different books that fulfill my values and my action plan for my version of success. I want freedom for my business, right? Just so my family's protected. That's very important to me. I want my family protected. I want to know financially, if for some reason God takes me tomorrow morning, my family is taken care of. And I can gratefully say, by the grace of God, both schools run without me and everything's taken care of financially. That part was very important. It's not that I don't want to teach. It's not that I don't love being on the mat. It's just I have to make sure these schools can run without me so that my family is taken care of in the event that something should happen to me in my life. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we're still trying to get Super Dan in here. I see he's looking at his stuff there. Maybe K1 or someone can help you with that, sir. See if we can make that happen. I'm going to clear that screen while we're waiting. All right. So that honest assessment of yourself. Hey, what's up, Joseph from Running Tiger? What's happening, sir? I'm glad you're aboard. So to make that honest assessment of yourself about who you are in that process was very important for me. And my rude awakening was I was making $1 million a year. I thought I was all that in a bag of potato chips, but I was teaching 60 hours a week. I was a technician. I was not a successful small business owner because that business upon me. It was a personality-driven business dependent upon me. And that is extremely volatile because even at $1 million a year, if I got sick or hurt, my business would have been closed in a year. In 1 year, my business would have been closed. So ask yourself that question in your assessment, okay? In your assessment. In your assessment right now, if you had to ask yourself, if I got sick or hurt, how long it'd be before my school closed? Think about that for a moment. You don't have to put it in there, but just sit there with your heart for a minute and be brutally honest. If you got sick or hurt, how long would it be? Okay, I'm going to keep trying. Let's see if I can find Super Dan this time. Are you there? Can you hear me, Super Dan? How about the other way? Can you hear me, Super Dan? No, see, he can't even hear me, huh? I think maybe his speakers and his microphone are muted. That's what I think's happening. Keep working on that, sir. Somebody type that in there for Super Dan. His microphone and his speakers might be muted because he can't even hear me talking to him. Yep. So Adam's sharing that we currently have a 76% sign-up rate on trials. 85% of them reach and pass 7 months. Okay, I like that, Adam. But let's do a little data. Help me with some data. How long have you had the school open? Go, Adam. How long have you been open? And how many active students do you have? Go. Hey, GM Matthews. Good evening, sir. I'm grateful to have you aboard as well, sir. And so we're trying to dial in Super Dan. My team will let me know when he's aboard. So take a minute for that, Adam. Adam says he's got 76% conversion rate, 85% stay through month 7. Okay? Through month 7. Hey, what's up, John, sir? We got 2 living legends. Super Dan is on here and John Hackelman. What's up, John, sir? Aloha to you as well. Aloha to you as well. So think about it. Is anybody willing to own that? And Adam, put that in there for me, sir. Put it in, sir. How many active students you have? How many years you've been open? Go. Okay. You got it dialed in yet, Super Dan? See, now he can't even hear me. Huh. We'll keep working on it. Let's see. Yep. Now he's frozen. Look at that. His screen's not even moving. All right, I'm going to take him out and maybe he needs to reboot that. Reboot and come aboard. So, Adam, did you answer that question for me, sir? Hopefully, Adam will answer that question. So, everything's about empowerment tonight. So, what questions do you have for me that I can hopefully answer to help you empower yourself? Whether it's curriculum, whether it's staff development, whether it's writing out your why, whether it's branding your school, whether it's developing an action plan or writing systems. What questions can I answer for you to help you feel more empowered? Hey, what's up over there, ma'am? How's it going, Shihan? It's good to have you aboard. And I just want to thank you. I heard about your comments in a thread with somebody else, and I just want to thank you, ma'am, for stepping up and voicing your opinion strongly. And I'm just grateful to you, ma'am. Very grateful to you for that. I caught part of that. And I saw your post. I won't elaborate about it, but I just want to publicly thank you. Thank you for that, Stacy, man. Okay, so Adam's been open 40 months. He has 30 active students. Okay. So, okay, let's get rid of those 3 months. Let's say you've been open 11 months, right? The first 3 months was bad. And you have 30 active students. So, in 11 months, 30 active students, you're averaging 3 students a month, sir. 3 students a month. Okay. So, you want to be mindful of that. Do you consider that good or not? I don't know. Everybody has different goals, but if I approach it with the attitude that I can always do and be better, I don't think I'm a great instructor because I can always do and be better. And the minute I think I'm great, God, I got something else to learn. You know, that happens all the time. So I'm ever mindful of that. And for me, it's like I always want to be hungry. Hungry is important to me. Grateful and content is a good thing. But I'm always hungry for more knowledge, for more learning that fits within my value system. Okay, so let's keep going here. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, martial arts instructors, and martial artists. Everything tonight is about empowerment. What question do you have that I could answer to help empower you right now? Instagram, Periscope, Facebook. What is it? What could I possibly answer for you right now? Anybody? Love your passion and dedication to our profession. You know, I love you. You know, I love you and your husband. I love the fact that we're in this crazy mess together. We're all trying to figure things out and take care of our families. We all just want to be happy people, you know, and I really believe everybody that owns a small business deserves to own a home, deserves to put their kids through college, deserves to create their version of success, deserves to have a great retirement. I believe that. I do, you know. And that's important. Thank you so much, ma'am. You always walk the talk and can back it up. I try. I think often days I wake up and I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I'll tell you that. Let me see if I can get Dan in here one more time. Come on, Super Dan. We can do this. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
There you are. So Super Dan was one of the people that was at the event. It's Time Live Empowered. And what did you get out of that whole experience, sir?
Oh boy. You know, the first thing that I got out of it was something that had eluded me for quite some time, and that was actually the concept of what a disruptor was. And you've used that, you know, quite a bit, and you've explained it in, you know, one form or another. But the fascinating thing that finally hit home with me was that it was somebody who thinks out of the box, willing to try new things, not being bound by either conventional martial arts business, by conventional martial arts. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to you earlier today, and you know, when it comes to tournament fighting and so forth, I happen to be one of the original disruptors with American Freestyle Karate, but it never occurred to me that this would go in business and how you form your curriculum. So that was the first thing that I got. Now, the second thing was that it really, really hit home about curriculum formation. And I was one of those old timers that you tested for yellow belt, and then after you did your yellow belt and you tested for, let's say, orange belt. Okay, you did all your yellow belt, you did all your orange belt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you get around to about the middle belt or before black belt, and you're testing for everything under the sun. You're spending 3 hours to do everything instead of how you split it up into yearly increments and that sort of thing. And then when you did your black belt pre-training, your pre-framing, wham, you caught up on everything there. And
Yes, sir. Yes,
that
sir.
made a tremendous amount of sense.
Well, we also found that attrition rate up around year 3 was horrible because every 3 months, this poor student was doing a 3-4 hour test. Every 3 months, they were doing a 3 to 4 hour test. We went, wow, that doesn't work. You know, and I think that the big thing with that, Super Dan, that you really got from me in that moment was that, you know, as long as my instructor believes our black belts are great, they do the number of form requirements, self-defense requirements, all the different requirements they do. So it really doesn't matter if I do it in 12, 15 belts, 8 stripes. It makes no difference because when the day's done, when they test for black belt, they do everything I did in 1979. So my instructor is very happy with that. He's very happy with that. I think the bigger challenge is taking that, empowering people to be able to put that in a rotating curriculum format so they can grow beyond 100, 150 students.
Right. And one of the things that going right along with that is seeing as how I come from an American system as opposed to, let's say, a Chinese system, Japanese system, et cetera, with the curriculum already set, it really got me to look at, okay, what are the important things that I really want in my black belts, in my first grade black belt? And then, as you had gone over, good, let's work backward from there. So what we have is we have a steady incline as opposed to all of a sudden a sharp, steep,
yes, sir.
Very, very steep, very hard to achieve goal. And if the idea is to empower the student to reach the goal, then the big trick is don't set it up so that you're in the student's way, so to speak. So that really helped a tremendous amount. And those are just a couple of the things. I mean, I got a lot of it out of there, but I would say those are the 2 main things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool. So I want you to share with them, you know, where they can find your stuff. Tell them a little bit about your online academy. I think that would be really cool.
Oh, okay. Boy, well, one of the things that I gave out to all of the disruptors that were there were DVDs that had previews of what's going to be happening on Super Dan Online Academy. And it was funny because I was talking with Conrad and I was telling him the purpose of the academy. The purpose of the academy is to make your life easier as an instructor and your life easier as a student. So what I've got set up and what I'm going to be launching fairly shortly are a series of video clips, no longer than between 2 to 6 minutes long. So it's not going to be this long, elongated yap fest, but actually right down to the point, covering single techniques, single actions, having to do with karate, having to do with free fighting, having to do with harness, a number of topics. I'd end up dominating your show if I told you everything that was going to be on it. But the idea is that what can I give back to make your life easier? And I've spent the last 53 years of my martial arts progress figuring out all the loose ends so you don't have to take anything on faith anymore. It's right there. It's in plain language. Let's say, just for fits and giggles, timing. If you ask 5 people what timing is, they will give you 5 different definitions, and will all of them be workable definitions? Maybe so, maybe not. So if I present, let's say, a workable definition, which I'll give you right now, it's a decision of when. When what? Well, when anything. When's dinner? 6 o'clock. You know, you show up at 6, hey, your timing is good. If you show up too early, your timing is off by being early. If you show up too late, your timing is off by being late. It's that simple. Everything that I teach is that simple, and it will be presented in such a form that I don't care if you're a white belt, I don't care if you're a 10th degree master. If I can make your life easier, my job has been done.
So whether I'm kung fu, karate, taekwondo, it makes no difference. I can take
zero difference.
I can take the philosophy of these different explanations of single techniques and work them into my own forms, my own self-defense techniques, all those different things. Yes.
Bingo.
Cool.
That's it. Because
I like it.
martial arts transcends style. It's like, you go to a tournament. You can't tell if somebody's Shotokan, Taekwondo,
Yes,
Kempo,
sir.
because they're all using techniques. They're all using timing. They're all using distancing, etc. That's exactly how this format is set up.
Yes, sir.
And can I make your Kempo better? Yes.
Cool.
Can I make your Taekwondo better? Yes.
Cool.
Can I make
Yeah,
your
because
harness
the cross
better? Can I make
punch is
your
a cross
better,
punch.
etc.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So where can people go to check this out?
Well, what I'll do is I will have it posted up when I have the site launched. Right now, it's in pre-launch. I've got easily close to 200 videos, and this has not scratched the surface. So what I will do is there are a number of people who have terrific communication lines. You're one of them. Melody Johnson's another one. Randy Reed's another one. Aside from Facebook, I will let you guys know so that you can let everybody know that, okay, this baby's up for launch, and have at it.
Excellent. Super cool.
Okay.
All right, my big brother. I love you. I'm grateful we finally got to get some sound going for you. and thank you for coming out to It's Time Live Empowered. It was a
Thank
gift
you
to
for
have
having
you
me there. It was perfect. Thank you.
Cool. And best love to Marie, please.
Will do. And she's right back here.
There she is. Hey, what's happening?
She's just popped in the screen.
All righty, sir. You have a good night.
You betcha. And you too.
Thank you, sir. And I think what's most inspiring for me about Super Dan is he is a disruptor. When I used to watch him fight as a kid, this guy comes out with this like big, almost like an afro, but it wasn't. He just had really curly hair and he's got a Superman shirt on, and nobody was doing that at the time. Nobody. And just the way he delivered, the way he fought, nobody was fighting like him. He had his own style. Everything about him was his own. And I think that's what attracted people to him. And he won. I mean, he got results. So I think that's the thing about being a disruptor. Being different for the sake of being different is not a healthy thing. I mean, being different because you've truly spent the path of self-discovery. You know thyself. You're comfortable in your own skin. That's a different day. That's a different day. If I simply dress up as a clown and run through a mall to be different for the shock value to get attention, well, that's a waste of energy and time. Now, if I truly believe with my heart and soul that I want to be a clown and through that make kids happy and all those different things, that's a different day. So ask yourself that question, right? Ask yourself that question. Each one of us are unique, special individual, unlike anybody else there in this world, right? So we should manifest that. We should invest in that learning about thyself, right? And knowing ourselves really, really well. I think that's part of what we need to empower ourselves to run a successful small business, right? But here's what happens. You stand in the lineup as a white belt, okay? You got me? Who's with me at Instagram? Let me know that. Periscope and Facebook Live, right? I stand in the lineup as a white belt. And all I want to do is please my teacher. Trust me, my first teacher was my father. There's nothing I wanted more than my father's approval. So I stood in that lineup. He said, kick, I kicked. He said, do 100 push-ups. I did 100 push-ups. He said, step in the ring and fight this way. I stepped in the ring and I fought that way. The challenge with that, I don't mean to distort this for a minute, but I was pretty much a yes man. Whatever my father said, I did because I wanted his approval all the way up into black belt. That's what I did. And for some of us, it's really extreme, right? We pay our instructor. We teach for free. We clean the school. And we'll back up 10 steps. I'm working for you for free and cleaning this school, and I'm paying you for lessons. That is blind loyalty. That is loyalty beyond fault. The challenge was I woke up at 18 years old and walked out into the real world, and I did not have self-discipline. I was disciplined by my dad. I was ready to, good soldier, tell me what to do, point me in the direction. I'm happy to do it for you. But that skill set can't serve you if you're going to be a successful small business owners, because you make the choices, you make the decisions, right? And same thing as being an entrepreneur. Ultimately, you got to decide where you invest your money and how you're going to grow your wealth. Knowledge is knowledge, but application has to be yours. So many people come to me and they're baffled at why they're not successful. And first of all, you can tell they want another teacher, and they're calling me master. Don't call me master. I understand the Taekwondo world, but that's not what we're doing here. We're equals. We're working together to grow your business. And you can see they automatically drop into that student mode of, yes, I'm a white belt standing in the lineup. And I get it. I love being a white belt because there's no expectation of me whatsoever. All they expect me to do is suit up, show up, and do my best job. He's a white belt. He doesn't know anything. All the pressure's taken off. All the pressure's taken out. The challenge is now you're a black belt and you're trying to run a business like a black belt in small business, and you're still behaving like a white belt in a lineup in a martial arts class. You've got to make that mind shift. If I can explain empowerment in the most in the most fundamental way in our case, is we're still white belts standing in the lineup, waiting for our teacher to tell us how many kicks and how many push-ups. We can't do that. We need to go out there through the journey of self-discovery and empowering yourself, knowing who you are. Why did you choose to make martial arts your career? Why? And what separates your school from anybody else out there? Not just other martial arts schools. I'm talking about every other child's activity. Swimming, baseball, basketball, all the rest. And so spending that time, and we did that in the 4-day experience, not so much in the 2-day, but in that extra 2 days, we spend a lot of time in self-discovery, in reflection, and really getting to understand, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? When I die, here's the year I was born. Here's the year I die. It's that little hashtag in between that determines, our legacy, our impact on the world, our making a difference. It really does. So I'm going to encourage you. Where are you on that spectrum? Am I a great martial artist? Am I a great martial arts instructor? Am I a very successful small business owner? Am I an entrepreneur? 4 different skill sets, and I can gratefully say I have all 4. I got to admit, I'm getting older, so the great martial artist might be diminishing, because the brain says jab. Well, that took a long time to happen. So that's very humbling. So I do count on being a finer technician, a finer artist, fine brushstrokes, understanding the deep meaning of techniques to share that with people, with great physical skill that need that fine tuning. You know what I mean? Fine tuning. Yeah, Wade says it, he gets it too. I was a good soldier. I was, sir. I was a good soldier for years and years. Hawaiian Kempo. I was a good soldier for years and years, you guys. But you know what? Fortunately, I'd ran small businesses. I cut my teeth early. My grandma taught me about it. My dad taught me about it. So I was running small businesses on my own. I haven't worked for anyone since my 20s. But you know what? I was still that soldier when it came to the martial arts. I was teaching in several schools for free and paying for lessons and all of the above. So I understand that. And we need to make that mindset shift. So you need to disrupt your thinking, disrupt your behavior, and make the change, because those choices are all on you. They really are. They really are. And the worst thing you could do is look for a mentor or consultant to fix you. Nobody can fix you but you. But you have to recognize something needs to be improved or something's broken. And I work on that every day. Every day. I grew up with a very poor, impoverished mindset, and I want to live from the law of abundance, the law of plenty. And that, I believe, attracts other people into my life that believe the same. You feel me? So if your school's not going where you want it to go, then really think about that. Let's see. Adam wants to add to that. I lead, I don't follow. I lead class at my last martial arts school, but under the command of the owner. So freedom to do my own thing just wasn't me. I went solo so I could be my own leader, and it was the best move I made. Yeah, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And I'm glad that's working out for you, Adam. And I think people often mistaken me as being disrespectful because of that. I honor my father. I honor that he started me in the martial arts. I'm an old school martial artist, 1967. But you know what? I don't want to be a slave to the machine. I need to stand on my own 2 feet. I need to figure out what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Really, that's super important. I was mentoring my guy today that runs the locations, and I was sharing with him, my job is not to tell you what to do. My job is to advise you and give you options and choices. But really, my goal is to help you become a leader. And a leader must be a critical thinker. A leader must be a thought leader. A leader must be willing to hold themselves at the highest level of accountability. And a great leader creates other leaders. Think about it for a moment. Cool? All right. So we're far from being done. Who's going to put in the next question? We're talking about empowerment tonight. Coming fresh off It's Time Live Empowered, we are talking about empowerment, true empowerment, because true empowerment, you feel grateful, you feel positive, you feel strong, you feel like you're an action taker. And most importantly, you get the results that you desire to create your version of success. Your version of success. Think about that for a minute, okay? Think about that. And I'm glad you agree with me. And even if you didn't agree with me, Adam, I still love you, sir. I think we should be able to have different mindsets and different opinions and be able to accept and embrace in one another for our unique individuality and what we believe works for us. You know, I think the challenge that we suffer sometimes in the martial arts is we're busy arguing that my white tiger is better than your eagle claw. And when the day's done, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I think in line with what Stacy's saying, hey, what's up, George? All the way from Australia. We have another Australian. George is here. What's happening, sir? As well as Chris Malloy in Australia. You know, because when the day's done, I want to make sure that I'm a learner and I can't learn from ego. I just die in ego. Ego is narcissism, self-centeredness, you know, selfishness. It goes on and on. You can't grow with that, nor with your team. But I understand. I'm the master of the school. You're the lowly student. You're lucky I let you train with me. You're lucky that I let you teach here. So you should give me money for lessons and clean the school, right? It's the opposite. It's the opposite. The other day, somebody called me their boss. And I said, I am not your boss. What do you mean? You pay me? I said, no, I don't. Our students pay us. Their parents pay us. I simply take that money and disperse it. And they looked at me kind of like, oh, wow. That makes sense. Our clients are our boss. So for me, do you know who my bosses are? My bosses, number one is my clients. And number two is my team. Because if my clients are happy and my team is happy, that gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. And isn't that ultimately why we're in business? Right? Why are we in business? So we can work like a dog until we're 76, 77, have no retirement, no money, and die penniless? I don't think so. I don't think so. So if I'm running a full-time martial arts school, I need to at some point put on that entrepreneur hat. So I'm taking the money I make in my business and I'm investing it somewhere, be it a portfolio or real estate or whatever. And that money is making me money. That's it. Right? That's it. I mean, one of my mentors is Sam On, and Sam owns one small school with 100 students, and he's a multi-millionaire. You know why? Because whatever money he did make in his school, he invested in the stock market, right? He's an investor, and he turned that into money. That's great too, right? That's Sam's version of success. Now, maybe your version of success is, I'm a mom and pop. I'm going to work in this business till I die. Then I'm going to pass it on to my kids, right? You see those kind of restaurants on diners, drive-ins, and dive all the time. Mom's in the back still making gnocchi and she's 85 and son's running the kitchen now and the daughter's running the counter. That's fine too. But make that decision and be very clear about it because you need to own it and embrace it. And once I can stop looking at the Joneses and I got to keep up with the Joneses or the grass is greener on the other side over there. And once we stop doing that, we're really going to offer ourselves the opportunity with all clarity to see what works for you. Cool? Oh, yeah, Adam, you're too funny. Mr. Deluxe, we all know Wild Monkey is better than Eagle Claw. Adam, sir, how you doing? Good to have you there. Good to have you there. Velez Martial Arts over here at Instagram. Periscope, pipe up there. Let me know that you're there, okay? All right. So what are your other questions about empowerment? Things in your business where you feel like a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. What are things in your business right now? Ask those questions and I'll do my best job to empower you. As our theme was going all weekend long, you know, one of the things we touched upon that was huge, just super huge revelation for people was understanding the concept of rebranding your school once you define your why, once you define that purpose. Super important. Every school I've worked with that has rebranded their schools have taken off. Kim Herzog, it's Heart Martial Arts, right? You know, he's over $1 million a year now. Wow, that's powerful. Samar Schur is at 370 students when we shifted their name from Schur Martial Arts to Empower Martial Arts. And it goes on and on and on. You know, Andre Mavis in Germany, it was Mavis Dojo. And now it's Believe Martial Arts, and it's taken on a life of its own. Marco Mazzola and Amy, they'll tell you all the day. We just rebranded their school from Peaceful Warrior to Focus Martial Arts. It's a cool brand. And it's just taken on a whole life of its own. And the school is positive, the school's engaged, and it's growing. Cool. All right. So Adam, this isn't a question. Oh man, but one of my juniors asked me last week if they can come and assist in my little kids class. Tomorrow they are coming to assist their second class as an instructor. I love seeing my students stepping up like this. I do too, sir. But let me ask you this question, Adam. Have you trained him to support you on the mat? Has he done any type of instructor's training to prepare him to help you on the mat? Right? Answer that question for me first. Adam Deluxe, it seems like I'm always cleaning. No matter how much I try, I have a cleaning person 2 days a week, plus have students help. Still 1 to 3 hours a day cleaning. Any tips? I hate cleaning. Outsource it 7 days a week, Adam. That's it. Outsource your cleaning 7 days a week. In between classes, you should be tidying up and cleaning. Yeah, we don't clean our schools ourselves. We clean in between classes because the janitor's not there at all. Okay. But we have a cleaning service 7 days a week, sir. So that's it. And if I needed to clean every day, then I would. I know, I think cleaning's a chore because you hate cleaning. And that's why those 1 to 3 hours seem detrimental. But if I told you cleaning was the key to your success and you like being successful, I'm sure you would clean all the time and be okay with that, right? I'm sure you would, right? I'm sure you would. Cool. So over here, hey, Shihan is asking me, do you recommend rebranding if you developed a brand for over 40 years? Yes, absolutely. Especially if it's not working anymore, right? People are reinventing themselves all the time. I think Prince, God rest his soul, went from Prince to the artist formerly known as Prince to a little sign on his cheek, and then he was back to Prince. Yeah, rebranding is not a bad thing. What factors would be pivotal in making a change? Well, number one, recognizing where you are today. You've been open 40 years, but you don't have to answer this. How many active students you have and how long you've been open? And honestly, if I've been open 40 years, and I don't know if this is your case, Shion, I don't want to assume, but if I was open 40 years and I have less than 200 students, I would really seriously look at rebranding, because sometimes a rebrand kicks your school in the butt and you're rocking and rolling. Sure, martial arts with 370 students just rebranded in January. A rebrand is not a bad thing, especially if you've discovered your why. You know what your why is. It's in line with your values, and you're able to bring that into your brand. So any mom with a 6-year-old kid walking through your door has no challenge whatsoever. And again, it is disrespectful, but because some people really love their name of the style they do and everything. But I worked with one guy and I said, what's the name of your school? And I kid you not, it was the Wadi Zen Burukai something of, and I said, sir, I don't even know what that means, and I'm a martial artist. And then I asked, who do you work with? Kids. I said, well, sir, I think that's a challenge too, because I'll never going to know what that means. And it gives me no reason. The word martial arts should be in everything now. We know martial arts, because of mixed martial arts, the word martial arts is what's taken over for the word taekwondo. It's taken over for the word karate and down the road. So martial arts to me is something I would make sure to have in my title because it's so self-explanatory. I set up my kids for martial arts. Very seldom, and we know Karate Kids make a resurgence, and this was pretty cool. I was in Old Navy the other day, and they now have a jean called karate jeans because of that real stretchy material. So who knows? Maybe karate is making a comeback. I don't know, but I would recommend in a rebrand, Shihan, that you do call it martial arts. We tidy up after all classes and fully clean on Saturdays after all. Yeah. We don't. I mean, we have a janitorial service 7 days a week, but Jason, between every class, we clean up. Somebody's got a vacuum. Somebody's checking the bathroom, because during operating hours, we would love that school to be almost as clean as when we walk through the door at 9 a.m. and what the janitor left behind. Cool. So John, rebrand the pit. You've never asked me that question. If I was training strictly UFC fighters like Chuck Liddell, I think the pit with the guy with the skull and boxing gloves and the hood he looks like the messenger of death, right? Death is calling. He's coming to get you. I would leave it as the pit, sir. Now, if I'm a mom with a 6-year-old kid, if the majority of who you cater to are kids, I might want to rethink that, because think about it for one moment. Okay. If I was a mom with a 6-year-old kid thinking about enrolling my child in martial arts, it's because I want him to learn focus and confidence. And I saw the pit with the skull guy with the hoodie on and the gloves. Am I more likely to bring them to you or not? What do you think? All right. Not knowing anything else about how great you are, sir, but just with that alone, just sit there for a minute and think about that. Right. Think about that. Yeah. So, Shihan, if you want to rebrand, send me some ideas. There's nothing written in stone. Yeah. See over here at Instagram, someone's just piping in, John, if you have kids, please don't call it the pit. Because I do. I think about a pit, somebody being thrown into the pit and having to fight their way out. But see, it makes perfect sense if I'm training UFC fighters strictly. But if I have a market for children, that might be a tough one. So maybe in the rebrand, John, you might consider creating a name that works for your adults and any of those fighters, as well as a name that, will make moms want to at least be inspired to come into your school with their 6-year-old. This is a mom over on this side, John, and she's saying at Instagram, if you have kids, please don't call it the pit. Cool? Yeah, and you look at a company like McDonald's. They went from McDonald's to Mickey D's to McCafe to just the Golden Arches. And now guess what? They're full circle back to McDonald's. Cool? Yeah. Yeah, and that's another good point, Shihan. Just watch the language used by UFC fighters after they win. It's not politically correct for sure. So again, though, can you find a happy marriage with the two, sir? I think you can. I believe you can, John. Absolutely. It's just a matter of, what you want to do with your business and what you want to do with your life. I mean, you are a coach for UFC fighters. People see that, which might stereotype you, because I watched you doing that work with the boy who has special needs. Sir, I when I saw that side of you, that was amazing. That was really amazing. And you should see him. He's like this big old teddy bear and he's patient and loving. That's really appealing to me too, John, watching you work with that young man. And now John's sharing with me, I tried it. So you tried to rebrand the pit. Well, you and I both know, in the words of the great Yoda, you either do or you don't. There is no try. There is no try, John. You got to agree with me. So if you're telling me I tried to rebrand, that's why you failed. Done day, right? That's why you failed, because you tried. You either do or you don't. Now, here's my story for that. Okay. Everybody knows Starbucks, right? Because we had this conversation too, because some people just don't want to change their name. All right. I get it. That's cool. So Starbucks, there was a time this man, Horowitz, right, who's working with the Starbucks brothers. Starbucks brothers? I want to say Starbucks brothers. I may be wrong, but it was Starbucks. And they had venti and macchiatos and lattes. And at the time, nobody was even drinking coffee. But you know what? His conviction, John, was so strong that there was no way. I mean, he could have called it horse poop and people would have bought that coffee, because he was so immersed in that culture. He believed in it so much that he wasn't going to change the name Starbucks. He actually was liked latte and venti and macchiato and all that. So then again, sir, if you believe so strongly in the pit, then get out there and make it happen, sir. Right? Nothing better than that people tell you should change the name of your school, and when the day's done, you prove everybody wrong. Right? Right? So maybe you keep the pit for your fighters as a sub, name of the school. And then maybe you work to develop a brand that's more in line with who you are today and the majority of people that you work with. Yeah, right, sir. That could be a possibility too. But I'm all for a good rebrand. I've rebranded, God, at least 24 schools now. I'd say it's well over 30 at this point. And the one thing I understood, a brand just ignited these schools. It was like an adrenaline rush, and everybody gets on board, and they all contribute, and they understand that why, Okay, but see, John, here's his statement. Yep. And everyone, even the soccer moms, bought Pit apparel, not our rebrand. And they would say, we're at the pit. Well, then maybe you don't need to rebrand, sir. I just try to look at everything when I work with a school owner. I work with every avenue of their business because I don't think it's just how to get 10 new students. We address, the aesthetics of the school. We address curriculum development. We address staff training. We address the schedule. We address the website. We address rebranding if need be. I think all of the elements need to be turned over, especially if you're not getting the results that you desire, right? If you're not getting the results you desire in your school, take full ownership and accountability for that and share with yourself that, okay, if I keep doing what I do, I will get the same results. But if I'm willing to make changes, as many changes that are necessary, as long as they're in line with my values, right? And if it's your values and that works for you, then keep it the pit, right? But just show me that as it's being called the pit, that you are wildly successful, your version of success, not mine, and it makes you really happy, right? I really like a whole self-defense program for kids. Like, don't let them take your lunch money. I think it would be the most fun kid self-defense program you could put together, package, market, shoot videos for, and sell it. Sell it to Joey Public, John. I love that. Don't let anyone take your lunch money. I think that's cool. That's really super cool. That's cool. I mean, I see the visual. That is empowering. Yes, see, that's another way to say empowerment, right? Don't let anyone take your lunch money. That's empowering. That's really empowering. And I love that. So, John, if it's working, then so be it. Keep it. Keep it. But again, when I work with anybody, I ask them the 360-degree questions, and they're going to go, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, yes, no, no, and whatever. And then once you recognize that and see that, and I try to offer that enlightenment too, because sometimes people on the outside looking in might have a different opinion, right? So if you look at where you are today, sir, and you're happy with the student count, you're happy with the amount of the income you make, you're happy with your business model, then call it the pit. Because I tell you what, everybody told Horowitz, get rid of the Starbucks name, and he didn't. And look where Starbucks is today. So, there's always an argument for everything. I think with the rebrand, you have to be on board. Marco and Amy were so on board from changing the name from Peaceful Warrior Martial Arts to Focus. They were so on board. So it's so easy to promote that to your students, right? And your parents. I get it. I get it. And the same thing with, something like Nike. What the heck is Nike, right? As a word. I think it's some kind of, I don't know, Greek mythology terminology. Somebody look that up. Maybe give us 2 cents on that. 2 cents. I think Nike is some Greek word, if I'm not wrong. Double check that, somebody. You see what I'm saying? But do I believe with a small business, a mom and pop business that who's been struggling, who's not getting the results they want, a little rebrand is going to make a huge difference? Absolutely. I've rebranded, a couple of dozen schools like I shared, and everyone who's rebranded has gotten incredible results because there was no mistaking who they are, why they do what they do, and what their purpose is, Yeah, John, thank you for that, sir. If it works, it works. Who am I to say? Again, what I really do as a mentor and a consultant, I just look at everything 360 degrees. I even want to go in and smell the bathroom. If it's clean, that sells me something. If it's not, then maybe you need to, adopt a mindset of being more detail oriented, right? And so it goes on and on and on. Oh God, we're at 8:32. I'm sorry we went over. I just love being here with you folks. I really, really do. Right now, my Warriors are playing in the playoffs, but I'd much rather be here with you. Cool. All right. So let's kind of get down to this. Put in the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, and all that good stuff. I'm going to enter you into the drawing for the cotton candy machine, courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. In the meantime, let's talk about our takeaways. What are our big takeaways tonight? Anybody? What are our big takeaways? Periscope, Instagram, Facebook Live, please put it in and tell me, what are your big takeaways tonight? My biggest takeaway is my purpose is to help people, small businesses, and companies live their best life. A big component of that is empowering people to be critical thinkers, is to empower people to figure it out for themselves, right? As a consultant, I think I shoot myself in the foot all the time. When I wrap up these broadcasts or working with somebody on the phone, I say, when the day's done, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Figure it out for yourself. You truly want to be empowered? Figure it out for yourself and be wildly successful. Do that. And they look at me like, well, you're a consultant. You're basically telling me not to hire you. I'm not telling you not to hire me. If in your critical thinking, your value system, your vision and action plan, I fit into that story, then so be it. Invest in me. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I run my own race. And that's how I choose to live life. For me, that is what fulfills me. Cool. Okay, here we go. Jason's in there with Wiseman's Martial Arts. Mentor ATA is in there. Marco wants to share for us. It was as simple to explain to a parent one question. Do you bring your child here to be a butt kicker in the sandbox, or do you need them to focus better at home and school? And there we have Focus Martial Arts. Yeah. Oh, Greek mythology. Thank you, Adam. In Greek mythology, Nike is the winged goddess of victory. The logo is derived from goddess wing swoosh, which symbolizes the sound of speed, movement, power, and motivation. See, but I think the thing I want to share about that, a lot of thought went into that, right? He didn't just make up Nike. They researched, they really thought about what they wanted to represent their brand. And it was very, 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 very thought out and in line with their values, in line with their vision of everything they want to do, right? Yeah, think, more GM, GM Matthews, more than thinking outside of the box. I want you to understand there is no box. That box was put there to limit your mind, not for you to think outside the box, because you spend all your time, effort, and energy trying to think outside the box when really there is no box. There is no box whatsoever. It's just you and your limited thinking not being able to tap into that unlimited potential that each and every one of us have. There ain't nothing I can't give you, you can't give yourself. I say that all day long too. I do. So think about that, right? Thank you, GM, sir. All right. So everybody, do we have our name in here? Let me know, K1, if you're ready to do this drawing. We're at 8:38. Let me know. K1, give me a heads up. Let me know that you're ready to do this drawing, okay? Let me know, because I don't want to do my drum roll and nobody's there. What other takeaways do we have? Okay, see, and here's Adam. Right on, Adam. You are a disruptor, because Adam's saying, if you think outside the box, you're going to miss what's inside the box. Break the walls and use it all. Sure, right? That's where Adam resonates. And if that works for you, Adam, I'm proud of you for speaking up respectfully and voicing your opinion, right? See, and that's what's unique about the disruptors. We're all critical thinkers. We all respect each other for that. We all value each other for that. If I wanted a bunch of like-minded people, that'd be the most boring conversation I could possibly ever have with anybody. I like people that have conviction for their own belief system. It can be really powerful dialogues and conversations. I think it's wonderful. Wonderful. So thank you for that, Adam. Okay, we ready to do this? I see that we are. So I'm going to give you a big drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of tonight's cotton candy machine, courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems, is, who is it? Who's the winner of tonight? Oh, right on. Who's got it? Who's got it? Tonight's winner is Herman. Herman Macon. Herman from Extreme Impact Martial Arts. You just won a cotton candy machine courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. Everybody give him love, give him love, give him love. Anybody want to give him love? Give him love. Congrats, Herman. Congrats, Herman. Hey, Paul, what's happening, Paul? How's it going, sir? Congrats. Marco. And we've made Marco like the ambassador of the cotton candiness. So, Herman, if you need help getting it up and running and all that good stuff, I know Marco and Amy Mazzola are the ambassadors of cotton candy for us now. Cool, cool, cool. Yay, Herman. And I think the toughest part about being a disruptor is a lot of people don't agree. I mean, that's okay. That's really okay. That's why there's billions of people. We're all different. We all think differently. And that's the great thing about life. That's the really great thing about life. And you know what? I like being a disruptor. I like recognizing there is no box and thinking outside of it. I like innovating and creating methods and ways of doing business and creating the things within our business that have never been done in the martial arts industry. I enjoy it a lot. That's why I don't mind failure. Failure is that process of innovation, and I'm cool with that. You know how many times I would throw a technique and end up on my butt, get knocked down. I go, okay, don't do that one. That combo doesn't work, you know, and so on and so on. That's just part of the process of empowerment, is being willing to fail. And that's what I love about life. Failure is no big deal to me. It's part of success. It's part of the process. And once we can shift our mindset, once we can empower ourselves to understand that, then I believe we offer ourselves a better and bigger opportunity of being successful, right? Boom. Marco says, PM me anytime. GM says, congratulations, Herman. All right. So let me wrap this up. So I'd like to announce we have It's Time Live Europe. That's right. Next March 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st in Mallorca, Spain. Mallorca, Spain. We're going to get people from all over the world. I know it because I've been to Germany twice. It's going to be a very unique event. We have the 2-day event and we'll have the 4-day event. Those will be the only two options. One day will no longer be an option. It'll be either 2 days or 4 days. This will be in Mallorca, Spain, March 28th through the 31st. I'm dialing in my special guest right now, and I'm going to have some sponsors involved in it. It's going to be huge, huge. Now, second on the plate, everybody after this weekend is asking, hey, are we going to do another It's Time Live in November like we always do? Well, if I get enough people to want to do it, then I will absolutely do it. So look for that post. If you want to be part of that event in November, sign up right away. Success leaves clues, success plans. I'm very challenged when my event's on Sunday and I have people booking on a Friday night. It's better that we plan success. We plan for it. We methodically work towards that. The last minute Hail Mary passes would show me that there might be a little bit of lack of discipline in your business. So I want to try to correct that behavior. You'll see the thread go up for It's Time Live in November, and you'll see the thread go up for, oh, good. There's one right there. Marco. Boom. Marco and Amy will be there in November. So I'm going to put it out there and we'll see what happens. I love this one, Adam. Failure equals learning equals success. Wow, that's beautiful. That is beautiful, sir. Yeah, you can't even imagine It's Time Live in Spain. I can, Paul. I did an event there for Stefan Billing, and he's part of this event. We're producing it together, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. Mallorca, Spain, especially the 4-day where we do the meditative walks and hikes, and we do a lot of self-discovery and mind mapping. Nature is very important for that. Very important because it clears our mind. So yeah, Mallorca, Spain, put the date down. It's limited. I've been in this room. It only holds 100 people. The 4-day experience, I will not take any more than 30 people. I will not. We only take 20 in San Francisco. I believe we can do 30 in Mallorca because of the situation. But that 4-day experience is something unlike anything. Great. Marco's going to be there. He's going to be there in November. So if anybody else wants to be there in November, PM me, okay? All right. So I want to wrap this up. So I want to thank my sponsors, Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software, Market Muscles, LC Accounting, Kids of Life Skills, and my studio. They sponsor these shows, which allows me to do them. What I love about my sponsors is nobody tells me what to do. Big Brother runs rampant in the world, not just this country, in the world. And Big Brother's always ready to shut you down. So I really love that I'm not censored. I'm allowed to do what I do, and nobody's pulling their sponsorship because of it. And I'm okay with that. Cool. So I want to thank them for that. And to everybody out there, find your version of success. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you simply choose to water it, okay? Where you simply choose to water it. And once I can really shift that mindset and create that for myself, not only am I more successful, I am so much happier. I am so much happier than I've ever been in my life. I will honestly admit In all of my life, I am most at peace right now. I am most happiest. I am most whole. I am most complete in every way possible because I'm living a life of humility, gratitude, integrity. I'm very clear about who I am. I'm very clear about investing in myself to be a better person, to do the type of learning that gives me the skill set to help my family, my team, and to help the community I serve. So spend that time. Empower yourself through the version of self-discovery that works for you. And I promise you, when that's done, you have a very clear mind on what type of life and business you want to create. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I want to say, I am Brannon Beliso. Thank you so, so much. And until we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life.